One day, however, the father of the family got quite exceptionally drunk. He came home and held carnival with the cooking utensils, the furniture, and his wife. He was in the midst of this recreation when the child, followed by the dark brown dog, entered the room. They were returning from their voyages. The child's practiced eye instantly noted his father's state. He dived under the table, where experience had taught him it was rather safe place. The dog, lacking skill in such matters, was, of course, unaware of the true condition of affairs. He looked with interested eyes at his friend's sudden dive. He interpreted it to mean a joyous gambol. He started to patter across the floor to join him. He was the picture of a little dark brown dog en route to a friend. The head of the family saw his moment. He gave a huge howl of joy and knocked the dog down with a coffee pot. The dog, yelling in supreme astonishment and fear, writhed to his feet and ran for cover. The man kicked out with a ponderous foot. It caused the dog to swerve as if caught in a tide. A second blow of the coffee pot laid him upon the floor. Here the child, uttering loud cries, came violently forth like a knight. The father of the family paid no attention to these calls of the child, but advanced with glee upon the dog. Upon being knocked down, twice in swift succession, the latter apparently gave up all hope of escape. He rolled over on his back and held his paws in that peculiar manner. At the same time, with his eyes and his ears, he offered up a small prayer. But the father was in a mood for having fun, and it occurred to him that it would be a fine thing to throw the dog out of the window. So he reached down and, grabbing the animal by a leg, lifted him, squirming, up. He swung him 2 or 3 times, hilariously above his head, and then flung him with great accuracy through the window. The soaring dog created a surprise in the block. A woman watering plants in the opposite window gave an involuntary shout and dropped a flower pot. A man in another window leaned perilously out to watch the flight of the dog. A woman, who had been hanging out clothes in a yard, began to caper wildly. Her mouth was filled with clothespins, but her arms gave vent to a sort of exclamation. In appearance, she was like a gagged prisoner. Children ran whooping. The dark brown body crashed in a heap on the roof of a shed 5 stories below. From thence it rolled to the pavement of an alleyway. The child in the room far above burst into a long, dirge-like cry and toddled hastily out of the room. It took him a long time to reach the alley, because his size compelled him to go downstairs backward, 1 step at a time, and holding both of his hands to the step above. When they came for him later, they found him seated by the body of his dark brown friend. Thank you for joining me for Stephen Crane's A Dark Brown Dog. Until next time.